Hello everyone, and welcome to Jasmine's Crazy Cat Tarot. And today I am going to give you guys a preview of what you can expect with the Crazy Cat Loyal memberships. So today I want to do a pick a card, and the question is a little bit cheeky, a little bit off the cuff, but we're going to go with it. The question is, if you were a criminal, what kind of criminal would you be? Just to go with the true crime direction the channel has taken. So if you're still interested in pick a cards, you should consider subscribing. But of course, I can't sell the product without a preview of what to expect. I want to show you what you're in for. I'm going to keep this video public for 24 hours, possibly 48. I'll see how I feel. But this is basically to reel you in. So you're probably thinking, Jasmine, this had better be good? Don't worry, it will be. Take a look at the 3 cards, and when you've decided which cat draws you in, you can find the timestamps below, and you can find out what kind of criminal you are. And I may even give examples too, just so you know whether it's the right direction to take for you or not. So I joke, of course. I will meet you at your reading, and let's spill that criminal tea together. And make sure you join the cat crew too, because it would also be criminal not to. See you at your reading. Hello and welcome to your reading group 1. So if you were drawn to the first card, the 9 of Wands, this is trust issues from the past. So many of you may have trust issues from your past. And this cat is looking more like a tiger to me. So immediately I'm picking up Eye of the Tiger and Kung Fu fighting. And by the way, look at this flame. This is just really high. So I feel like you are very passionate, especially when you're in a relationship. But I do feel like your trust issues from the past can maybe sometimes come back to haunt you and even cause you to act out sometimes, to test. So I feel like if you were a criminal, you would definitely be a maze indeed. You would be a code that the police would have to crack, because you are very deep, and when you love hard, you love deep. So if you were to have a crime, I feel like it would be to do with maybe a lover. And as they say, there's no fury like a woman or man scorned. So I feel like love brings out your best side, but it also brings out your worst side. So let's see what the cards have to say about what kind of criminal you would be. So first off, we have inside. This is a cave, a tunnel underground. So I feel like if you had something to do in the dark, you would do it in private. You're not going to be committing your crimes for all to see, because you're quite private when it comes to your passions. Whether they're hot or they're cold, you are very heavy and persistent. I'm getting some motel, hotel, also death. So immediately I'm actually picking up the energy of Gone Girl. If any of you have seen that movie or read the book is better, by the way. I feel like Gillian Flynn's first book is better though, Sharp Objects. So if any of you are fans, let me know what you think of those books down below. I prefer Sharp Objects personally. So yeah, group 1, I feel like your weapon of choice would be a sharp object, or the woman's way, which would be poison. And I feel like the only thing that would bring this out is if you had a scorned lover. So in the book Gone Girl, She finds out her husband is cheating, so she stages a faked death in order to frame him for her murder. To get revenge for his betrayal, she committed the ultimate betrayal. But she ended up becoming a criminal in the process. All is fair in love and war. And like I said, love can bring out your best side and your worst side, your dark side even. So with the Gone Girl reference, it's giving me Sherry Papini. So I feel like if you were in a toxic relationship or you had a bone to pick with a lover or an ex-lover, nothing would stop you when it comes to getting that karma. You know, karma's a bitch, and if karma doesn't do the work, then group one is going to do it for her. I love it. So let's see. We have the Six of Swords in reverse, healing. So unhealed. If you are unhealed on the inside, I feel like this is what would bring out your dark side. With the hotel motel, loyalty. So yeah, I feel like catching someone you love betraying you or cheating, yeah, you'd stop at nothing to get your point across, or to kind of make them feel how they made you feel. I don't think you just take it lying down, but if you were not so passionate about it, I feel like that's when you could get really toxic. But I do feel like most of you are very passionate and reactive. So the non-reactive ones would be more so like Gone Girl energy. And the more reactive ones, the more petty ones would be like Sherry Papini. So let me know down below whether you relate more to Sherry Papini, or is it Amy from Gone Girl? I think it is. But let me know down below if I'm wrong. I haven't read that book or seen the film in a while. We also have the High Priestess in reverse. So this is secrets revealed. So your secret would be that all is fair in love and war. But if you felt like something was unfair, you would want to even out the playing field. And sometimes you have to play people at their own game. So that's the kind of criminal you'd be. If someone wants to trick you, you are going to show them how it's done if you find out. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you really are very passionate when it comes to love. Running, I feel like you would flee the crime scene, and the crime scene would be inside somewhere, probably a hotel or a motel, because you don't want to leave the evidence at home, even if the evidence leads back to home. Because as they say, when it comes to crimes and crimes of passion, it's usually someone in the home. And yeah, I feel like if someone maybe wrecked your home or got in the way of that, there'd be hell to pay. And hopefully you wouldn't have to be the one doing the pay. And if you felt like you were at a loss or ripped off, that's when you'd make them pay the price. You may bide your time. And this really is giving Amy from Gone Girl. Yeah. So maybe if something built up over time, you would think about it. But I do feel like with the reactions, you could maybe react to something, hypothetically, that happens. And with no time left to lose, you would do what you can and run from the crime scene. So running from where the pain is. Yeah, from the hurt. Healing and hurt. The two can go hand in hand, and sometimes what causes the hurt can help us heal. So I feel like you'd actually grow by making these mistakes. You would learn your lesson. I feel like if you're a criminal, you would be a reformed criminal by the end of it, because you'd realize what you've done wrong and you'd turn a new leaf. You would change your ways. So that's a good thing, group one. We have love triangle. So yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that could bring this side out, because most of the time you are rainbows and sunshine. But if someone interferes in what you love most or who you love most, I feel like that's when those primal instincts may come out. Yeah, because you run on your instincts, your intuition. You're very empathetic too. We have married, we have drinking, toxic lifestyle. So yeah, I feel like a toxic relationship would bring this out. Toxic relationships bring out your toxic side. And I feel like you would be a toxic criminal in the sense that once you got it out of your system, you'd regret it right away. And I feel like you would get caught because you're so passionate, something about the heat of the moment. But you would get reformed in prison and you would change your ways, turn a new leaf. Yeah, I feel like maybe if you were under the influence and passionate, that's the only way this could happen, hypothetically, is if you're in a toxic relationship with maybe some toxic things, substances involved. Yeah. So make sure you don't get with anyone who brings out your toxic or your dark side, because I feel like if they betrayed you, if they scorned you, that's what really would turn this from hypothetical into reality. So group 1, you are rainbows and sunshine, and this is not possible unless you are betrayed or fucked with. Karma's a bitch, but so is group 1 when you push them too far. So make sure any future or potential or current lovers know that even you have your limits. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to connect with you all again in the next one. Let me know down below in the comments if you relate with this energy, group 1, because this is an interesting energy indeed. And hey, what can I say? You are justified in how you feel, but yeah, we just have to know that our actions come at a price, and sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it really worth the cost? I feel like you talk yourself out of it before you got too far, because yeah, you know what the sus is, you know what it's like, but sometimes all the wisdom in the world doesn't help when we're scorned and our hearts are broken. So yeah, listen, that applies for all of us, not just you. See you in the next one. Hello and welcome to my group 2s. So if you were drawn to the second cat, this is the 7 of Pentacles. And this is the working hard card. This is the perseverance is key card. This is you working on something and becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. So with the black cat here, some of you could be really into spirituality, manifestation. I feel like many of you could possess kind of a dark or witchy kind of a vibe, no matter what your gender. People may have told you that you're gloomy. People may have told you they just don't get you. But that's okay, group 2, because the ones that do get you, they really get you. And I feel like if you were a criminal, you would be a one-of-a-kind kind of criminal. You would be iconic. You would be one that would be remembered. Maybe not for your good deeds, but you would be infamous and notorious, is what I want to say. Kind of like Jack the Ripper. You would make an impression. And I feel like group 2, if you were criminals, your main objective would be to not get caught. And when we think about it, you know, if you're a criminal, realistically, that's the goal. Don't get caught. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here, group 2, and we're going to find out what kind of criminal you are. So I've got a cat at my leg, Sahara. So some of you may be cat people, but this is just that bad bitch, boss babe, boss bro, whatever kind of energy. You are just fabulous and you know it. And people either love or hate you for it. But that's okay. You ain't here to please everyone. And if you were a criminal, you certainly wouldn't be. You'd be pleasing your damn self. Okay, so let's start with the 2 crime cards. We have cult. Okay, so right away, this is giving Charles Manson energy. We have home. So maybe you wouldn't even need to leave your home in order to make a cult. That's how influential you are. You're revolutionary. And I feel like you could start a revolution and even a cult from home. So I feel like you are a leader and not a follower. You set the trends instead of following them. So this would be you, and your cult would be your loyal companions. But you are the cult leader. I'm hearing a song Freak, Lana Del Rey. That could be significant. You could be a freak group too. We have devils. So if you decided to go down the dark and devilish route, I feel like you would be a very devilish criminal indeed. Just saying. Just saying. We have Two of Cups in reverse, fulfillment. I feel like something about the thrill kill. I don't feel like you're typical or you're predictable. So if you were doing something for the thrill, yeah, I feel like you would send other people to do your dirty work, your loyal followers, your loyal companions, because it's like you don't want to be caught red-handed. You don't want to be left with nothing. I'm hearing that term, if I reveal too much, I'm left with nothing. And that's the thing, I don't feel like you would sacrifice yourself in order to get what you want, get your own way. But maybe if you were a criminal mastermind, you would get other people to do the sacrificing and the bidding for you. So you don't have to get your hands dirty. So I love this. You would be playing dirty, but keeping a squeaky clean reputation. Letting other people, your loyal, diehard followers, do the dirty work for you. And you would be there sitting pretty, sitting handsome on your throne. Certainly not in the background. You would be front and center stage. But when it comes to criminality, if you were a criminal, this is a hypothetical reading, okay? If you were a criminal, you would be the brains behind the operation, but not necessarily the one doing the bidding or the one out doing the hard work. It's like your mind does the hard work for you. So if this was a pinky in the brain situation, you would be the brain group too. And your loyal followers would kind of be like your pinkies, and you would have them under your thumb, literally. Yeah, it's kind of giving Mr. Burns, Smithers energy, and group 2, you are no Smithers. You are a Mr. Burns. And these loyal, dedicated cult members, they would be like lots of Smithers gathered around you. They won't be able to do enough to please you. You would be like their god, their dark lord. Some of you may like Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and I'm seeing the visual and hearing Gollum, my precious. So yeah, I feel like you are very precious, group 2, but you could be quite possessive. And it's like, if things aren't going your way, you'll find a way to make it go your way. So this is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So this is coming over home. Yeah, I done this the wrong way. So yeah, I feel like you wouldn't do your crimes in a typical way. You're very creative. And you could be literally a criminal mastermind, a creative genius. But, you know, as they say, creativity, genius, insanity, they go hand in hand. So you could be kind of balancing the tightrope between the two if you were a criminal, of course. With the Ace of Swords in reverse, breakthrough. So, yeah, coming over the devil, this is like you would manipulate communication in order for it to suit your agenda, your motives. You would have ulterior motives. You may not even let these cult members know what your true plans are. Yeah, so it's giving Charles Manson. It's giving, what's his name? Jim Jones, Kool-Aid guy. Yeah, you would tell your loyal, devoted followers, hey, drink the Kool-Aid. It's okay. I made it with my blood, sweat, and tears. Drink it, if you dare. Yeah, because the Seven of Pentacles makes me think of blood, sweat, and tears. So you are very persistent, and I feel like if you set your mind to something, you have such a great and inventive mind that you'll find a way to get it done. No ifs, no buts. But if you can, you will find a way for you not to have to do anything at all. So this is you working smarter and not harder. You would not be the runaround. You would not be the delivery, the bellboy, the bell girl. You wouldn't be on the streets. You would be the kingpin at home in luxury, spending the money, getting the grace, getting the notorious name for yourself. I feel like you'd secretly enjoy it, being an evil genius or a criminal mastermind. But I feel like you'd kind of always have that paranoia of getting caught. So yeah, I feel like you would be very manipulative, and you would kind of start from home and work your way around the world, and you would get other people to do your bidding, balance the resources for you. This is you outsourcing the crimes, but being the mind, the genius behind all of it. So yeah, group 2, you are a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, what else can I say? We've got marrying for money. So I feel like you would be a gold digger if it came down to it. I see 9/11. Some of you could be conspiracy theories, and you're a conspiracy theory group 2. An enigma. You are an enigma, but you could like conspiracy theories, and some people could be very superstitious of you, like black cats, or even just think you are a conspiracy theory. People could question your motives because maybe they haven't always been pure. If you were a criminal, they certainly wouldn't be, because you'd be there for the money, you'd be there for the status, the followers, the infamy, and yeah, whatever it takes for you to get to the top, that's what you do. I'm hearing Whatever It Takes by Imagine Dragons. So you want to get to the top. You would be the top of the food chain if you were a predator group 2. So good thing you're not. We have divination abuser. So yeah, you would be that self-fulfilled prophecy. You would tell other people what you predict and what's going to happen. You are the enigma. You are the oracle. And you would use your spiritual wisdom and all of the wisdom you've gained from pain, from pleasure, from experiences, and you'd use that in order to manipulate and, you know, get the dirty work done. Because somebody's got to do it, group 2, and you are just too darn fabulous to be doing it. We have bankrupt. So yeah, I do feel like you'd be good at fraud. And I feel like if you were a criminal, I feel like maybe things like having a drink or, you know, mind-altering things, instead of turning your mind off, it turns your mind on even more. So sometimes you could feel like there's no shutting you off. And I feel like living with this adrenaline would maybe affect you in a bad way, because you want to be chill, but sometimes your mind isn't chill because it's just such a great mind. Sometimes you don't know what to do with it. So you can heal or you can hex with your mind. If you decided to hex and do bad things, I feel like money would be a big factor. You'd start with the fraud, and then you'd take over the world. So you'd start small, work your way up, and going up that ladder, you wouldn't be afraid to step on a few heads or two. If you had to, you gotta do what you gotta do. So for the true emotions, we have off and on, hot and cold, detached, ghosted. So yeah, you wouldn't be seen doing the crime. You would not be seen at the scene. You would keep yourself distanced and detached from it. And people could really admire that about you. They could either love it or hate you. People either want to be you or want to be with you. You would use that to your advantage. And yeah, Instead of getting yourself in trouble, you'd let other people get in trouble on your behalf. And yeah, I feel like you would throw them under the bus if you had to, because you are a criminal mastermind. We have secret accounts, so you would be a stalker, a spy. You'd know exactly what you're doing because you would have all of the groundwork covered. You wouldn't just go head first into something or let your passion lead you. You would stalk, you would creep. You would be a true predator, group 2. Yeah, it's giving panther. You would be an absolute panther if you were a criminal. Yeah, and Poirot, Pink Panther, whoever, I don't feel like they could figure you out because you are a slippery one and you would know just how to get away with it. We also have family. So I feel like you're very family orientated. You could be very good at investigation and you would make your followers feel like family, and this would make them loyal to you for life. So as I said, you could hex, you could heal, you could create, or you could destroy. That's how powerful your mind is. And I've seen 1333. 333 could be significant. Also 666. People can be scared of these things. People can be scared, intimidated, and even superstitious of you. But I feel like if you did decide to go down the criminal route, people would really think twice before messing with you. You'd be the sort of person they'd look at and say, hey, look, I'm not going to mess with them. Just in case. Just in case they curse me and my family and our whole future lineage forever. Just in case, I'm not going to fuck with group 2. And group 2, what can I say? You would make a very effective criminal, and the best part about it is you would not get caught. So I feel like you could teach these other groups a thing or two if you were a criminal. Hypothetically, okay? But you're very creative, so it's okay to fantasize. I'm hearing it's fun to fantasize. 21 Pilots ride. So you are on that ride and it's up to you where that ride takes you. So have fun and don't get into too much trouble. Okay? And if you do, don't get caught. Not that I think you would anyway, group 2. Not with those cards. So thank you so much. And I hope to see you again in the next video. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah. Hello and welcome to your reading group 3. So if you are drawn to the third card, the Six of Pentacles, you are here in the right place. So the Six of Pentacles is all about receiving support, gifts, advice from others. I feel like if you were a criminal, you would be part of a criminal organization. I don't feel like you would be a lone ranger or doing it on your own. I feel like that would be a bit too much to handle and you wouldn't bite off more than you could chew. With the cards here, it's like the more, the merrier, and it's like you would provide some sort of illusion in the group. You would be, let's say, the magician or the one that distracts people. Yeah, it's giving distraction. So I feel like you would be the one that would distract the police, distract the public. So your crew could go and rob that bank over there. You'd be the one that could attract attention because you have a very visceral and natural sort of energy. And my cat is sneezing to confirm that you are so hot that sometimes people need to put on their sunglasses and they need to take their antihistamines because you are just, yeah, some people can't read you, but it's like, that's what distracts them about you. You make people stop and stare. You make people think and kind of pause for a moment to figure out what the hell is going on. So yeah, you're not easy to read. You could be kind of like a jack of all trades. So if you were in a criminal organization, I feel like you could even have numerous jobs because you're good at more than just one thing. But if you were to do it on your own, you would be overwhelmed, overworked, and anxious. Yeah, because I feel like your conscience would get the better of you. And you have plenty of good intentions. But sometimes, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So I feel like the only way you would go down this road would be if you got caught up with the wrong people, the wrong gang. Maybe you've had this problem in the past, but it's like you've overcome these illusions. And maybe right now you feel like you're finding your crew. Your angels are with you right now. So it's like you would have good luck. You have some sort of spiritual knowledge, insight here. And it's about really unlocking and embracing that third eye. I feel like some of you are very spiritually gifted, but you block yourself off from these spiritual gifts because you're afraid of the illusion. But it's like you need to break the illusion and then the fear will go. So in a sense, if you're a criminal, your fear would hold you back, in my opinion. So I don't know if it would be the best career choice for you because you have too much empathy. You have too much of a conscience, and even if you did cause chaos and destruction, I don't feel like you would gain or garner any pleasure from that. So we have fraud. Yeah, I feel like if you were a criminal, I seen 333. If you were a criminal, that's your angel number because this is group 3. So 333 and quarter 3, I was going to say. 3333. That could be significant. Some of you could also be 33. But with this fraud here, it's telling me that that would be the illusion. While all this is going on, you're like, look at me, don't look away. You know, pick a card, any card. Kind of that energy that they're so busy looking here, they're not looking over here. So you wouldn't be doing the actual crime. You would just be an accessory. That's what I want to say. You would be an accessory if you were a criminal. We have landfill. Yeah, because look, this cat is wearing a necklace, 2 necklaces, I think. You know, and with all the cards and stuff here, yeah, you would be an accessory to the crime, whatever it is that's going on. Yeah, with the landfill, this is rubbish. So it's like you're saying, look here, not there. Look at me. Don't look at them. While they're taking all the money, while they're doing this, it's like you'd be there to take your cut. But even then, you'd still feel bad. It's like, even as a criminal, you'd be too empathetic. And I feel like even your crew would be like, hey, group 3, come on, keep it together, man. Keep it together. We've got a job to do. You do your job, you distract, and let us do what we have to do. But yeah, it's like kind of finding a needle in a haystack. So you would be acting as the needle or the haystack, basically. Look at this haystack over here. So the needle would not be found, the weapon would not be found, the criminal would not be found. I don't feel like you'd act as a fall guy, but that's the thing, because you're so kind, giving, generous. People with bad intentions and no conscience could put you in that position because you're not naturally inclined to be like that. And other people could take advantage of that, even in a criminal situation, because, you know, you'd be very loyal to your crew, but the question is, would the crew be loyal to you? So you could have questions to do with that. Your angels are saying they're with you right now. They're supporting you. They're your crew. They're your tribe. And if you feel like you need to find your tribe, sometimes you need to sift through the shit in order to get to the gold. So yeah, you would get to the gold, but you would sift through the shit first, and you'd give yourself a lot of shit because your conscience would keep you awake at night. And yeah, you'd have insomnia because you'd feel so bad. We have aliens. So to me, this is showing that you wouldn't want to be seen. You wouldn't want to be infamous. You don't want the notoriety. You wouldn't want your face being seen. You wouldn't want to be a part of it. So if you were a part of a crew, it's because, you know, that's just the situation you were put in. And essentially, confirmation, you would be there in the background. You wouldn't be the one doing the dirty work. And it's like you'd want to take the role of least resistance, least violence. You wouldn't want to do something to hurt other people. So if you were a criminal I reckon you would be more of a fraudster, maybe a hacker. You wouldn't want to hurt people, but maybe you'd want to get the information, get the goss. And you could be very good at digging through shit in order to find the diamonds. If you're looking for something and you've got an intention, you can make that happen. You're a master manifester, but it's like you know what you want and what you don't want. And what you don't want is to live a life that is full of shit. So you're avoiding the shit. But if you were a criminal, hypothetically, you would take the road of least resistance, and you would want to do the least possible just so you could live with yourself. And I feel like your crew wouldn't be too happy with you. They'd be like, hey, group 3, come on, you told us you were a psycho. Show me the psycho. And they're like, well, I don't really want to be a psycho. So maybe some of you are recovered psychos. But yeah, I don't feel like you'd want to do this. This would be a burden of responsibility. Guilty knowledge would be a burden on you, and your conscience wouldn't let you sleep at night. So you would be the first to spill the beans, to turn on the others, and maybe your crew would call you a rat and then put a hit out on you, because isn't that what crews do? So yeah, you wouldn't be able to bear the heavy weight of guilty knowledge. Even if you took a minor role in it, you wouldn't be able to handle it because you're just too good of a person, group 3. We have the star in reverse, so you would feel hopeless, unfulfilled. We also have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So prosperity, even if you stole money, swindled money, you wouldn't get any joy or pleasure in it. There's no thrill in it for you. You would only be doing this if it was a last resort and it was this or die, do or die kind of a thing. But even then, if it came to hurting someone else and it's do or die, I think you'd rather die, because you just don't have it in you to be a bad person. And even if you've given yourself grief or shit in the past, some of you could have grief and, still be beating yourself up about it. But this is just your nature. Your nature is too kind and caring and compassionate to be able to even take your emotions out of the equation. So you couldn't separate yourself enough from your emotions or your conscience to be able to do a bad thing. And my cat is sneezing for confirmation. We have too busy winning. So it's like a trophy, but you wouldn't even feel happy even if you got away with it. It'd just be, oh, great, I've got money, I've got a trophy, but I'm not fulfilled. So even if you wanted to, group 3, you shouldn't, because there will be no validation, there'll be no happiness in it. Dodging bullets. You'd rather just avoid the drama, avoid the conflict and the negativity. You're too positive to be a negative and destructive force in this world. I'm sorry to tell you, group 3, if this was Pinky and the brain, as I told group 2 would be the brain. You are the pinky. You are the one that would get this organization caught, because your conscience would get the better of you. It's making me think of, I seen 11:11. It's making me think of the 2 criminals in Home Alone. So that's what it's giving. You would be the kind of criminal that would get caught, if not from an accident or a mistake or just, something comedic. You would turn even a crime into a comedy, group 3. Because if you didn't get yourself caught, you would turn yourself in. And listen, if you're looking for the criminal life, you need to know how to not feel, and you feel too much to be what these kind of people need for their crimes. And this is all made up in my head. So I feel like you're good at imagination. You're good at having fun. I'm hearing pure imagination from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You could like chocolate. And yeah, that's about winning the golden ticket, winning the prize. So if the golden ticket was money or trophies, fame, notoriety, you don't want that golden ticket. You'd only feel satisfaction out of something if you felt like you put your heart and your soul into it. Because that's how much you give. You're a giver, you're not a taker. And that's why this would not work. The thug life is not the life for you, because instead of avoiding the handcuffs, you would put your hands out and say, take me here. I'm turning myself in because I can't live with myself. We have love on the brain, so this is all just a fantasy. But even if you fantasize that you could get away with it, I don't think you would. Because you are a healer and a giver instead of a taker and a hexer. And even if the police or karma didn't catch you, if you done crimes or bad things, you would basically catch yourself. So if you were a criminal group 3, it would be a catch-22. It would be like a game of cat and mouse, except with you, you'd just be like a dog chasing its tail. So stick to the day job, group 3. And I hope I don't be seeing you on the news doing any criminal doings, because if I do, it will be because you got caught. Okay? So keep yourself productive with your hands, because as they say, the devil finds work for idle hands. So I feel like once you have something productive and constructive to do, you will make miracles. It's only when you're bored, have nothing else to do, you might resort to the thug life or, certain ways. But I don't think it suits you, because you are good and you are of the light. So this dark path, it ain't for you. So stay on your side, okay? And let group 2 do all of the evil work. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions for future pick-a cards, I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I hope to see and connect with you again in the next one. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah.